All right, y'all ready?
The ogre is ready.
No, you look good. I'm telling you.
All right, fair enough. I'll take your word for it. But yes, ready.
All right, so welcome to another Jags podcast, episode 67. We've been arguing about what episode number we're on now for a while, but we're just going to commit to 67.
All right, I'm buying into 67.
We're doing 67.
It is
okay?
67.
All right. We're here with Mike and Joey and myself.
What's up, boys?
We regret to tell you that James is taking some time off from the podcast. He'll probably be back, but he's got to do his own thing for a minute.
I mean, he
has
to do what he's got to do.
We all love James, and we'll
him.
see him when he gets back. But in the meantime, you got us, and
Thank you for having me, by the way.
Yeah, we're excited. You might remember Mike from our live episode at Engine 15 that we did, but we're excited because is this like the most dead time of football, like technically? Because can you think of a more dead time of football?
No, I mean preseason, arguably like after the second game. To me,
But at least you can talk
at least
about,
something's going on.
Yeah, at least you can talk about like the players.
But right now
playing.
is like the downtime.
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
what I would say too.
Yeah,
But the good news is that we have a lot to talk about.
we do.
So we're kind of in a good position.
Is that good or is that bad news?
It's unfortunate. I was just about to say that, actually.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I mean, it's kind of like I wish we didn't have to talk about that,
Yeah,
but we do have stuff to talk about. So
We do.
better than nothing.
we do. But everyone's doing all right tonight. Everyone's doing good.
Yeah.
You can find us on Twitter, Another Jags Pod, Facebook, Instagram, Another Jags Podcast. We're on YouTube, so we have this live stream on YouTube up, and then we also post the episode without us on YouTube if you really don't like looking at us. Which looking at this group, I could see that
It
definitely
could be understandable.
Definitely seeing
I mean,
that.
honestly, I thought today was the
Definitely
men's
dragging the
national
average
team soccer podcast.
Yeah, Joey's got his soccer
So,
jersey on.
I'm completely
Yeah.
off
it's
kilter
okay.
at this point, so we'll figure it
Okay.
out.
And Mike's got the PFF shirt on. We're going to be doing a lot of PFF, if you didn't know we're PFF fans. Joey's not.
You
And I can
actually have
argue
a
with
PFF shirt?
Yeah, that dude works for PFF.
PFF.
Do you get like a free year membership to like their?
I did not do that.
Okay.
I actually spent
We
$200.
actually still pay, yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
so that's like an addition too.
yeah.
All right, fair enough.
All right, so let's get right to it. Obviously, the big news going on right now is Telvin Smith. Telvin Smith said he's not going to play in 2019. Do you think that he will play ever again?
I think he's playing this year. Honestly, I mean, I don't necessarily want that to happen because I mean the guy's obviously got some stuff going on, but I think when it comes down to his agent, the money, like them eventually talking to him, I mean, I think he's going to have to come to realize, like, dude, you can't just take a year off from the NFL. I mean, I'm glad you think that you're good enough to do that, but I mean, that's a special type of person that could take a year off, come back, and still have a position and still be good enough. It has to be something major that we don't know of, and I really can't think of anything that would be that severe, especially with his, like, freaking Instagram posts, man. I mean, I think he's going to play.
What do you think?
I hope so, more than anything. I love Telvin. He's an integral part of our team. He's always been a leader. But the way he's been talking, something seems off. It doesn't seem like the Telvin that I've been following for a long time. So
Doesn't seem like the Telvin that failed a drug test that he knew was coming in the combine.
I think it's actually a diluted sample, technically.
But I mean, regardless of that, I mean, that's obviously the lead indicator. Like, hey, what issues has he had before now?
Yeah.
He failed a drug test. Okay, great. But he hasn't an issue at all. And you talk about like CTE, you talk about like maybe he's bipolar, like any like mental issues that he could have. Dude, the guy hasn't had any episodes. Like he's been like a stand-up guy on the team. Last year he didn't play great, but it wasn't like he was flying off the handle on stuff. I mean,
Look what happened to Everson Griffin last season, though. He freaks out. I mean,
Well, we have a couple questions about Telvin. And,
All right, bring 'em on.
This is a fan show. Like, we're fans, and we want the fans to drive these episodes. Like, we want to talk about what y'all want to talk about. We want to read what y'all think. So if you're on YouTube, comment and tell us what you think about what we're saying, and we will, because this is about y'all.
it's especially on YouTube because those have dropped off, and those are my favorite because I actually answer those.
Well, our YouTube lives have picked up.
Sure.
Because ever since we started to move to live, our lives have picked up. So
Well, yeah. Okay, the recordings, post them to both.
there you go. All right, Joey's getting offended, guys. If
I
you
am.
could-
I'm
if
getting
you-
offended. I'm getting kind of butthurt, man. I mean, come on.
So we got two good questions about Telvin. So I'm going to read both of them real quick. Okay, the first one's from Pete, and he's at Coach L Tweets. And he says, Miles Jack was quoted saying he still expects to be the Mike linebacker this season. He says, so who do y'all believe will realistically take Telvin's spot at will linebacker? And the other question is from Brent Papineau. and he's at Brent Papino, and he says, since Telvin seems to be gone, who do you think right now would be our starting linebackers, both running and passing downs, and does this automatically make Josh Allen a 3-down player?
I'll take the simple answer here because you guys are going to go way more in depth on that, obviously. I mean, if Telvin does not come back, I mean, I cannot see Miles not getting pushed out right and everything revolving around the fact that Ryan is healthy and can play middle. I mean, that's like the logical, hey, this is what's going to happen. But you guys are way more in depth on that, so take it away.
Okay, I will. All right, so I think Jake Ryan will play that Sam linebacker, which is like what we kind of wanted Leon Jacobs to play last year.
Kind of a, what was his name from the 49ers that we signed? Dan Skuda. I feel like he's in the same kind of mold.
Yeah, Dan Skuda. And basically what these guys do.
Please don't compare anybody to Skuda ever again, because that was like
Skuda was supposed to be. Yeah,
it's supposed to be. There we go.
Yeah.
Good point.
But basically what this guy does, this Sam backer in our 4-3 base defense, is that he lines up on the strong side of the field. So if that's a tight end, if that's a fullback, and basically he just keeps his outside shoulder free and tries to keep the play inside of him, and then allows these fast linebackers to see the gaps of where the ball's going, shoot the gaps, and make a tackle. So he basically is like the wall. He like has to take on the blockers. So I think Jake Ryan could do that, and I think that's why you see Miles Jack stay at that Mike linebacker position, because he can kind of get to anywhere from there. And he's already used to calling the defense, being the signal caller, audibles, recognizing formations. And I think he's going to be really good at that. And I think he'll be good there. And I think in nickel formation, when they bring DJ Hayden on, they'll just take Jake Ryan off. But the biggest question that concerns me is, like, where's the depth there?
Quincy.
So Quincy, referring to Quincy Wilson.
I mean,
Is it Quincy Williams?
Quincy Williams.
Quincy
yeah.
Wilson is the DB from Florida. I confuse them all the time. Quincy Williams played like a more of a box safety at Murray State, though.
Are you surprised to see Blair Brown cut already?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of shocking.
Very surprising.
He's
2
trash.
years.
Nice.
I mean, as far as like the depth goes, though.
Yeah, but look at the guy. Okay, so
Yeah, he was trash.
Well, Nick DeLuca actually played pretty well last year.
Yeah.
You want to hear an interesting stat about Nick DeLuca? This is gonna blow your minds.
What?
Okay, are you ready for this?
Other than the fact he's got like a cool name.
Yeah, we just have a cool name.
Right.
Okay, so he played 76 snaps last year. That's including special teams. So probably
all special teams.
Yeah. Well, no. So his PFF rating in the run and the pass was a 50, which is pretty not good. It's fair to say not good. However, on his 11 pass rush snaps where he rushed the passer, he had a 92.5 pass rusher rating.
Yeah, in the fourth quarter when we're down by like 14.
Dude, that
yeah,
is,
not a bad chance.
What? Why wouldn't you give him a couple more snaps there? If you're a coach and you're seeing that, like, oh dang, he's literally getting to the quarterback every time he rushes the passer. I mean, I understand who Nick DeLuca is, and I'm not trying to hype up Nick DeLuca, but let's just can we just take a second? Just like a 92.5.
You can
the best you can do is like 100.
You can draw those up though, pressure wise.
But are you gonna do that with Nick DeLuca?
No, I'm saying
11 times.
I mean, that's.
I don't know. I mean, I know. Okay, so we also got Ramik Wilson. He's 6'2", 238. He's in like his 5th or 6th year. He went to Georgia. Remember him at Georgia? Like 5 or 6 years ago? He was pretty good. But he had a 71 PFF grade in pass coverage, but then a 53 on run. So I would rather have him
There's
than
a lot
Blair
of depth,
Brown.
just not good.
Najee Good,
Yeah.
8-year pro.
That was a pun, but
8-year pro, 6 foot, 244.
He's actually second on the depth chart behind
Well, he has more.
Telvin.
He's an 8-year pro, so he's
Yeah.
got a lot of experience. So he's gonna at least know what he's doing out there. Then we get into the rookies. Joe Giles Harris from Duke. I like this guy. He runs well. He fits gaps well. He scrapes well. He doesn't get caught in traffic, and he tackles well. That's really all you can ask for in a strong side backer.
We kind of. Oh, excuse me. Got a little dry there.
Choked up about
Yeah.
Joe Giles.
No,
Harris?
I was gonna say no, not that. I mean, you kind of glanced over like Quincy Williams. I mean, yeah, his tape was awesome, but his tape was like 70% like plays that would not work in the NFL because he's gonna get flagged on every one of them. He's gonna like break his spine or break somebody else's back and get a penalty on every tackle he makes.
Yeah.
So I mean, are you comfortable with him being an option? Like, are they gonna be able to like fix like? Yeah, he's almost like a free safety. Like, go do what you want to do and like spear people. I mean, like
better than being timid. I would definitely better than that though.
I agree 100%. But I don't think his play style is gonna work
I don't.
As
I don't
every
see
down
him,
guy.
I don't see him playing a lot of snaps this
Okay.
year. Maybe a couple, like 100.
Yeah, he's going to be a project,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Best case scenario, he's Robert Alford from the Falcons, who legit like spears everybody. If you remember, he's the guy that hurt Marquise Lee.
And I have no problem with a like good tackle and somebody ends up getting hurt. I mean, I don't want anybody to get hurt ever.
No, I mean he was helmeted knee. I mean it's legal, but yeah, Robert Alford. Are you not gonna talk on the mic? You're just gonna...
It wasn't Robert Alford. It was.
It's someone's first time on the podcast.
It was Kaze. What was his name?
There's no stand.
Kazi. Was it Kazi?
He said it a few times. He was
Okay,
known for that.
so that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
So I think kind of like back to the question though, like at this point, everything being like what it is, what we know, do you guys want Telvin Smith playing this year?
Absolutely, I'll take him.
You do?
Yeah,
He's not.
Sure. He
Okay,
won't.
regardless,
I
I'm
think
saying right now.
I think he's done.
I think if he's coming back this year, outside of everything we know, do you want him coming back?
Absolutely.
Do I want him coming back? Yes.
I don't. Honestly.
Really?
After last year, the production he had last year, the angles he was taking, like something was creeping in at that point.
Yeah.
Whatever it is was creeping in at that
Defense as a
point.
whole, though, was down. The only player that
We're
was
still
the same
fifth
was
in
Calais.
we're still fifth in the league, and he was a large part of it being not what it was.
There was
and-
Malik was down last year.
Yeah, I
Miles
mean-
Jack didn't play as well as the year before.
I agree, and I think he should be outside, not middle, and that's why he wasn't playing as well. But that being said, he's always been an undersized linebacker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's always outplayed his size. You look at those videos, dude, the guy's lost weight, a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Like, he's smaller than he's ever been. And that guy can't stand to lose weight. Like, you lose 10, 15
But
pounds
it's-
as him,
It wasn't the tackling that concerned me.
it was the
The
angles.
pass coverage has been
Yeah,
bad.
he got his eyes caught in the backfield, got caught up in play actions, took terrible angles
he's
to
always
ball
relied on
carriers.
speed.
Okay, well, regardless of that, all that.
Right.
This year, he looks like he's at least 10 or 15 pounds underweight as it is. And he's already a guy playing underweight.
Okay,
That concerns me.
so this year, I mean, he had the best year of his career in 2017.
Which was
He had
fantastic.
an 82 PFF rating.
Yeah.
This year, 65.2, which is the worst since
Huge
his
drop
rookie
off.
year. Worst
Yeah.
his rookie year. Like, you saw Telvin, like, kind of climbing. Like, he was at 64, 66, 73, 81, and that's when he got that big contract. So it's like, okay, this dude's getting better every year. But last year, I mean, he just plummeted.
I'm just going off like visuals. Like, there's an issue. Last year, something was going on we weren't aware of. There's obviously an issue now. The stuff he's put out, he looks small, like smaller than small.
Yeah.
I honestly don't want him to come back this year. I mean, I think that would be a negative for the team. I think we can work it out outside of that. So, I mean, that's my take on it.
It's good
I
to
mean,
have the money. It's like $8 million.
sure.
To get.
Yeah.
I mean, even outside of that, I mean, money's money. I agree. The cap room is fantastic, but just from a player personnel standpoint, something's wrong with him that needs to be fixed. And if he comes back, it's going to be forced, and I'm not a fan of it.
But if he... does he ever come back? I mean, heck, can you ever think of an example when a player takes a year off and comes back?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, people get injured, and they
Anthony
come.
Davis is trying it right now for whoever he was.
I
with.
mean,
He
you
was
got
with
like
the
Ricky,
still played.
you got like Ricky Williams. He's
No,
probably
he's
like
been off for like 3 years. He's trying to come back.
Oh, who you
yeah,
talking-
he took
who?
off Anthony Davis, the
I
right
was
tackle
thinking
for
of
the.
the center for the Pelicans.
No, that's
yeah, he
not-
didn't take a year off.
I mean, he did,
He
but
probably should to shave his like eyebrows, but outside of that,
Anthony Davis. He was a right tackle, first round pick from the 49ers.
well, he's trying to. But he's not going to
Yeah.
do it. Well, this
I mean,
question.
you got other guys like Josh Gordon.
I could
like,
see. I could see the itch. I'm sorry, Joey. Go ahead.
But Josh, like I said, like, Josh Gordon like has been off and on and like tried to come back, and you know Ricky Williams, I guess is probably the best I can think of example of somebody who like quit football altogether for whatever reason and came back, and yeah, he performed
Marshawn
okay.
Lynch took
Marshawn
off
Lynch.
the
Marshawn
year.
Lynch,
Yeah.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
he's a great example actually,
Yeah.
and he came back and did well. But dude, I mean, Telvin's already like overperforming at a position that he's undersized for.
Yeah.
Take a year off, man. Hey, dude,
I think
that's-
we'll be back by preseason.
you think so?
That burn.
I still think he will be. I agree, but I just don't necessarily think I
Bro,
want him to
something-
be.
Dude, something's up with him, man. And I like how everyone's like supporting him.
Maybe he's just burned out, man. I mean, he loves football.
Yeah, maybe
Playing
he
for
is.
Doug Marrone and
Yeah, no, you're
Coughlin.
right. I mean, we've talked about that many times on the podcast.
Yeah.
Like Doug Marrone is like driving these guys into the ground, man. These guys aren't showing up to
It
voluntary
was
camps.
nothing like it was though, like 10 years ago, man. Those
Yeah, but
guys
it's a different
were able
era,
to do
man.
it.
It's different times.
So
You look
th-
at
so everybody's
teams like
softer?
no, they just like they're not. It's different. You can't say soft as like not going to training camp like 2 times a
Yeah.
day, and I mean,
they're still practicing with pads almost every practice.
yeah. And it's like I mean, I don't know. Look at the teams like the Rams. I mean, these teams are like freaking going to the beach, you know, and we're out here like it's going to make us better, really, because we're 5-11. So how much better is it making us? But we have a question about the Telvin cap space. And this is from Darren Frazier, and he's at TD Frazi. He says, with Telvin likely out, this frees up cap space for the Jags, about $9 million.
Yeah.
With what's available in free agency, what position would you like to see upgraded?
That's seriously hard question because obviously I'd like to see wide receiver come in. We need some running back depth. I mean, but there's nothing in free agency that really like excites me at those positions. So I mean, safety maybe.
Safety.
I think safety would be Eric Berry.
Dude, Eric Berry's still a stud, man. I mean,
What's the
for
deal
a year
with him though? Like, I mean, I know he's like
He's old and injured.
he's old and injured,
Probably wants a lot of money.
but he won't get it. I
but
mean,
he's not getting
still
signed
hasn't
for
been
it.
signed.
Like we could wait and pick him up.
And I mean,
For
at this
whatever.
point, he's still a little bit better than Ronnie Harrison, but I mean,
Yeah, Harrison's gonna be the man.
Is he better
feel
than Jared
pretty
Wilson?
convinced. Yeah,
they don't. I mean, free safety. I can imagine Eric Berry playing free safety.
Ryan
Yeah.
Harrison could play for safety.
Yeah, maybe.
he's definitely better than Jared.
I was hoping we'd take a look at Jamie Collins, but unfortunately, he got signed today.
Oh, did he? By who? I missed that.
Patriots.
No, of
Yeah.
course.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah,
Bringing-
course
imagine
they
that,
did.
right?
Bringing him
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what are you gonna do?
So outside of safety, I mean, I guess what else can we fill? I mean, free agency is like this is like probably the weakest free agency
Yeah,
like
I mean,
ever,
we
right?
got the best free agent, and we paid him $88 million.
Yeah, I mean, really outside of that though, I mean, this free agency's been bad.
Yeah. I mean, they're showing like they were talking about on Pro Football Talk today, like Jaguars like key additions.
Yeah.
Okay, so they
God.
said number one, it was obviously Nick Foles. Guess who number two was?
Wow. Ryan?
No, worse.
Worse.
Jeff Swaim, the tight end.
Really?
He was the only other key
The
addition.
key addition.
Which
And
he
it's like-
might even make the
like,
team.
I know. Like, I get that. Like we spent a lot of money on Foles, but like really, like our next best addition was
Wow.
Jeff Swaim.
But again, it's because there really wasn't much to work with.
That's
I
true.
mean,
There's not a lot
honestly.
out there. I
So,
mean-
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I guess safety. I'm with you there. Safety, Eric Berry. We read off some names last week of some safeties, and like none of them do anything for
Dre
you at all.
Boston is kind of
Oh,
straight.
God.
Which again, I
What
mean,
year is this?
which again, why did we? Goes back to the fact why did we get rid of Gibson?
Because basically they had to clear room for
They didn't though.
for Foles.
They really didn't. As it turns out, they didn't because we have more than enough cap room at this point. I mean, that was really
Still.
probably the worst
Well,
call in free agency.
They didn't know Telvin was going to be gone, and you
Even
had
if
to-
they didn't, they
But
still could have signed
I think
everybody they
they're trying to
signed.
account for like injuries, because if there's a couple of injuries in preseason, you gotta. I mean, like, what if a linebacker gets hurt? What if Miles Jack gets hurt?
Yeah.
Then what?
Don't even speak that, please.
Yeah, please
no,
don't-
I'm not-
please don't put
okay,
that
I
into
can
the
give- I can give you an
intranets.
example. What if D.D. Westbrook gets hurt? What if Nick Foles gets hurt? Like, if any of these people who are shallow with depth get hurt, then you have to have a little bit of like emergency cash to go in and get someone that can like keep your head above water.
Well, we've
That's
got
the
it.
only thing.
We've got it.
We've got it, and that's good.
Yeah.
And we might need it, and I hope we don't. All right, this next question is from UCF Jaguar, and he's at UCF_Jaguar, and we love UCF Jaguar. He
Yeah,
does
this
great,
is like 2 weeks in a row. I
great
appreciate
work.
it, bro.
Like, if I am not watching this YouTube channel, I'm watching UCF Jaguar.
Which is hilarious because he's in Orlando, which is even better, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly. Number one, Orlando Jaguar
hardcore.
podcast.
if you're in
Yeah.
their
If
city.
you could do us a favor, UCF Jaguar, and if you see Mike Bianchi just like stab his tires with a knife.
Nah, maybe just like a
That'd be awesome.
back of the neck punch.
Yeah.
That'd be cool,
yeah,
too.
Maybe a slap, like
Yeah.
just in the face. There's nothing-
Fair enough.
But anyways, he asks, should Josh Allen stick to D end or should he get reps at linebacker as well?
I'm gonna go with stick at DN because this is all he's ever done. I mean, like against any kind of like serious defense or offense. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, that's his wheelhouse. I mean, obviously the guy is a freak, like physically. I mean, again, I'll give Mike props here because I had a reactionary, complete comments to him during the draft. Wanted them to go offense. Afterwards, I mean, you look at him, everything everybody's saying about him, like the guy is. You just look at the guy and he's an absolute he's like LeBron as a football player. He is a freak of nature, the right size, the like just V'd, ripped, fast. Like the guy could probably do anything you ask him to do. You probably play tight end if you want him to. So it's wide open, but he knows one position. He's got a couple moves, like all speed moves. I think he's probably got a year of learning before he could do something like that, but that's just my take.
I definitely agree with that. Let him learn the NFL, let him get used to it, do what he does best, rush the passer, and then next year.
He draws a lot of comparisons to Anthony Barr,
Yeah.
linebacker from
Von Miller,
Minnesota.
Anthony Barr, that
And
mold.
Anthony Barr, like, honestly, when he was at UCLA, did exactly what Allen does.
That's the easy thing to do. I mean, you
Yeah.
can outrun everybody. Why
Right,
not?
Exactly,
Right?
exactly. But then when he moved to the NFL, he was able to move into that linebacker role, and he's been a 4-time Pro Bowler.
He plays a lot of linebacker, though. He does not rush the passer a lot.
He's primarily a linebacker. That's my point. And they look a lot alike. And in college, Anthony Barr basically did what Josh Allen did, beat to the edge with speed, and then he got to the NFL and was able to adapt his game. If that happens, that may work out for us with Ngakoue being the same position. Because, I mean, we were talking about it earlier, like, who was the big D end before Calais Campbell? Like, Ngakoue is the weak side end, so he never has to beat a tight end. He never has to take on a double team. He basically just beats the tackle to the edge. Who would before Campbell? Who did we have? Do you remember?
It was Odrick
Like
and
Jared
Red-
Odrick.
Odrick and Red Bryant, yeah.
Right, and so these big guys, like, that's not what Josh Allen is.
No.
We've
So,
gone away from that somewhat. I know Calais.
but still, that's like your.
Calais is just good enough that he can play inside.
You're right.
and
Yeah,
I mean,
Calais
Calais is
can
good.
just do it because he's
But I'm just
the
saying-
man.
So Anthony Barr last year, let's see how many pass rushes he had. He rushed the passer. Oh, wow. Let's see if I can find it on PFF.
Man, you should have had this before you brought it up.
Sorry, guys.
Ouch.
Hashtag
22
podcast
pressures.
rookie.
23
Hashtag
pressures.
getting
23 pressures last year, 3 sacks, 1 hurry, or one hit.
23.
23 pressures is not bad.
Not bad.
How many
for
times
that.
did he rush the passer?
Let's see here. Sorry,
Because he
guys,
probably
my
only
pen's
did
up.
it on like zone blitz schemes or like exotic blitz schemes where the outside backer was blitzing. I can't imagine it was like a every third down type thing where you'd almost want Josh Allen to be blitzing every
I
third
mean,
down.
honestly, do we need somebody who's solely a pass rusher at this point? I don't think so. I think we
Third
need
down,
somebody.
Absolutely.
Well, third down, okay. But we need somebody that can, okay, yes, rush the passer, but also drop back in coverage and cover the seam, man.
I mean, that's
Because-
what we need more now that Telvin's gone.
Yes.
That's the issue.
Well, because Talvin couldn't do that last year.
Josh Allen's not in that mold, though. I don't see him playing
I
that.
don't.
No.
Yeah, I don't either. That's the problem.
You don't think he's fast enough? He is fast
He's
enough?
fast enough. Just
I'm
no.
not saying next year. I'm saying just in general.
No.
I
No?
mean, can you?
No. He's more. I think he's more in the Sam.
All right.
Sam?
Yeah. Sam, kind of like.
No. I don't think so.
I think. I mean, why not on base formations?
I
Like
mean,
Von Miller?
maybe. Maybe.
He's like the Khalil Mack, Von Miller role that they play that on
But
base
that's a
downs.
3-4 Sam. That's different than a 4-3 Sam.
It's all
It's
Same thing
different.
nowadays.
It's different. Yeah.
tomato.
Yeah, that's true. Agree, disagree. But anyways, I mean, it's. I think he should play D end, and I think he should get some base 4-3 linebacker reps. I mean, he's gonna have to.
I think either way, him falling to us is like more of a blessing now than it ever was, knowing what's happening with Telvin, whether it's this year or going forward. I mean, just the not knowing what Telvin's going to do or what he's going to be if he does decide to play or if he's going to come back next year. Getting Allen when we did is even like more important than ever. So we got very lucky and very blessed with that.
That's true. He doesn't. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to draw. He's nothing like D4, does he?
No.
Okay.
I think Yannick's more like D Ford.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. All right, so let's move to this next question. And this one is from, we're going to go random here. I like this question. This is from Jason, and he's at RadHCP.
It was 103 pass rushes, by the way. Sorry.
That's pretty good. That's a
Yeah.
lot more than I thought, actually. Wow. What?
Yeah.
It's like 10 per game almost.
Yeah.
8 per game, 9 per game. That's a lot.
For an outside linebacker?
Yeah, 3 sacks.
Absolutely.
That's pretty crappy.
How many hurries did he have?
He had 20 hurries. He had 19.
So he had 19 hurries on 100 and how many?
103.
It's not bad then. Mix those two together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This question is from Jason. He's at RatHCP, and he says, "Lost beneath all the Telvin news, Cody Kessler got cut. Are you guys comfortable with one of the quarterbacks on the roster being the backup? Minshew, Lee, McGough, and who do you think wins the job?" Can I take this, please?
Please
Go for
do.
it.
Please, can I take
Tell
this
me who
one?
has a quicker leash.
Tell
Tell me.
Okay, I am all in on Gardner Minshew. I'm all in on this guy, man.
Is
As
it
the
just-
immediate backup? Though?
As the immediate backup.
Is it just
man.
because of the
I don't know.
jorts?
Okay, think about this.
It's because of the
Think
jorts,
about
isn't
this.
it?
Okay, if I brought you in and I was like, okay, Nick Saban wanted this guy to be the backup quarterback to Jalen Hurts,
backup quarterback.
and then I came to you and I said, Mike Leach called this same guy and said, I want you to lead my air raid offense and be the leading pass yardage guy in the league. Would you want that guy on your team?
I'm going to say that I'm fine with him being the backup because I'm a big fan of a guy who puts up legitimate numbers in college being a pro. So based on that
That's true.
and the fact that he's got good man thighs,
Oh, man.
I'm good with it.
He looks good in those jean shorts.
I mean, he does. He can pull it off.
But to cut Kessler immediately.
Dude, Kessler was garbage.
He's played in the NFL though. He's played
Garbage.
We saved good money with him, though, cutting him. We saved
what,
The fact that
$1
Philly.
million?
What about the fact that Philly picked him up though?
Yeah,
That's
fine.
pretty funny, right? I mean,
Swap for Malik Jackson and Cody Kessler for
yeah.
Nick Foles.
I think we kind of lost that one, but
Heather
maybe. I don't know.
Newkirk. Heather Newkirk on YouTube wants to know is that one of Miles Jack's homemade candles on the table?
It better be. After
Okay,
last
well,
episode,
It's not. It's actually called 5 O'Clock Shadow,
Wow,
and it is
Jason.
the most amazing candle scent.
mother
It's
bought it
it's
for him.
not actually, Heather, because we don't have the Miles Jack wasn't down candle, and I apologize for our complete lack of just being legitimate, and that's on Jason.
It is on me, but next time I will try to get
The
one.
candle does smell
This
good.
smells amazing.
Is it a soy candle at least, or am I picking up carcinogens here?
Bro,
You don't
I
even know. You don't
dude.
even know.
Okay,
It's
this
a
thing,
cancer candle.
this
for
thing,
sure.
this smells like
It does smell
like
good.
men's cologne.
I have to say, it
So,
does smell
like,
good.
I mean, I live by myself. You know,
he is
So,
wearing a white V-neck T-shirt.
I live
for the
by
podcast.
myself. I gotta have a candle that smells like cologne, bro.
It
I'm
does-
not trying to have like some like fruity smelling junk in here.
Heather, I have to back up the fact it does smell good, but we've got to get a Miles Jack
Yeah,
candle.
you're right. That's a good point.
Sorry,
That's a good
Heather.
point.
We failed there.
All right, so back to Gardner Minshew. This dude put up numbers. I'm with Joey here. Like, let's get a guy who's. I mean, I know quarterbacks put up numbers in college all the time. They don't translate. I get that. I'm
It
not
was the
dumb.
one that came out of Washington State last year. It was they had one recently.
Yeah.
Went to Tennessee Titans. Luke Falk.
Yeah, Luke Falk.
Yeah, I
and
mean-
he was a guy that everyone wanted the Jags to get.
Eh,
I mean, he
Not all
hasn't
of
been
us.
good, but none of the quarterbacks at Tennessee have been good in a
But
while.
this is also another locker room guy. Like, he's not
Yes,
going to have
exactly.
a problem being the second, like,
he's
fiddle.
a beach bar guy.
Like, he's going to be.
that's what we need.
We're gonna
definitely.
catch my
Exactly.
dog at Shim Sham.
And instead of, like,
Buy him
taking
a gin
drinks.
shot at
No, he'll be buying
Correct.
drinks. He'll be buying drinks for people and not drinking himself, like, BB. But problem,
the sad, depressed alcoholic
You know.
like Blake Bortles was.
but Minshew is the guy that, like, he'll have no problem coming in, running practice squad, running second team, being that guy, and still being a leader amongst, like, all the guys that aren't starting. Like, that's kind of what you want. I mean, I agree with Jason. Like, I think we're good with those two, but we gotta have somebody else besides what Lee's the third guy.
It's Lee and
McGough, Alex McGough.
I mean, I've never heard of
Seattle.
McGough, and
He's
Lee,
like
and Lee is never like,
Disgusting.
yeah, he's awful.
Yeah.
How did we re-sign Tanner Lee?
Yeah, I don't
think he
know.
did.
That guy's like my
Did
hero.
he get cut? I thought he was just on his rookie contract.
I think
Was
he's
he-
still on the actual
He
roster.
didn't make the 53 last year.
No,
So
but he's still a
he
practice
might have been
squad,
practice
like up and
squad
down.
guy.
But he's still around.
That's weird that they like him, man. I wonder what it is about him they like him. Is it the
Apparently,
quick
it's his quick release.
He does have a quick release. If you've ever watched him, the dude throws the ball
He
quick
does.
Yeah.
But not accurately or anywhere.
or powerful
Yeah.
or knows the plays.
I am excited to see Flip and Foles work with Gardner, though. I think they can do some good stuff.
So I have a question for you guys, but we have to take a break because now that we're like with Big Cat Country, we have to put ads into our podcast every like 20 to 30 minutes.
Let's rephrase that. We have to put very important ads that you guys should listen to.
Absolutely. And whatever the ad is, you should like
Jason backs it.
you should say that Another Jags podcast convinced you to do whatever ad that is.
The only
they
reason
all
I
work
the only
very
reason
well.
I
They're all
purchase this
magical.
product or use this service
Yeah.
is because of AJP.
Yeah, and I mean they're all great. You know, I can vouch for literally
AJP.
whatever the service or product is. But we gotta take a quick break. If you're watching us on YouTube Live, we're probably gonna like use the bathroom and like refill our water.
So apparently the camera is not going to turn off.
oh no,
Okay,
we wouldn't rob the fans.
that's
of that.
good. That's good to
Yeah.
know.
But we have to take a break for like the audio podcast because there's gonna be a commercial here.
Fair enough.
So just letting you right now, there's a commercial here. You know what to do. We'll be right
Sounds
back.
good.
Another Jags podcast.
AJP.
All right, so we are back and live. Another Jags podcast, episode 67. We could probably call this the Telvin Smith episode, right? Does that seem fair?
Yeah, I mean that's
Because,
really
it's
the
really the only
big
thing
story.
going on, and it's all good with us. But you can make sure you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Another Jags podcast, Twitter, Another Jags pod, YouTube. We have these episodes live. You can watch them if you like looking at us. If you don't, we also have it just the audio on there. So either way, we're there for you. We actually have a website, anotherjagspodcast.com, which rumors is that there's going to be like articles on there one day.
Yeah. Also, rumors it's been the worst website affiliated to something successful
I've
ever.
Cleaned it up. I've cleaned it up.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. I've
Sorry,
cleaned
I
it
stopped
up a
going
little
to it because it hurt my eyes.
bit. It was bad for a while, but
It was bad.
like everything that we've ever done on this podcast, we don't take it too seriously.
No, that's true.
So until people complain enough, we're just like, all right.
Very true.
But anyway, so I have a question for you guys. I said on this podcast like January, I was like, yo, Kyle Rudolph. He played with DeFilippo.
This is a Minnesota guy, right?
Yeah, Minnesota
Okay.
tight end. He played with DeFilippo. He is in the last year of his deal. He's owed like maybe $6 or $7 million this year.
He's also like older than I am, right? He's like what, 43?
No, he's not that old. He's like 32.
Really?
Not that old.
Are you
28,
sure?
29.
Yeah, I mean,
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's, I mean, the most receiving yards he's ever had in a season is like 800.
Yeah, that's 200 yards more than the Jaguars leader. And
Yeah, that's true.
Which I mean, I think the guy that we drafted is going to catch some balls. I mean, I think we need somebody that's going to come in.
But he
Yeah.
can't block.
He can't block either.
So
we want to take Rudolph?
no, I'm saying
Oh, I'm
Olsen
sorry.
can't block.
I'm asking, can Rudolph block?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's all right, but I did
Yeah.
see a stat that no tight ends blew more blocks than he did last year.
Mm.
So, I'm not sure that's the own.
Maybe that's why DeFilippo got fired. Was
That's
because of
a good
Rudolph.
point. Have they seen Olsen try to block though? Because he may be the number one. Because he's never had to block a day in his life.
Olsen,
Yeah.
Oliver.
Oliver. Are you going to bring Oliver in and tell the defense it's passing down, and then bring Swaim in and tell the defense it's running down?
What about
a big
O'Shaughnessy?
slot? Just
I mean, a big slot, I think Oliver does well. But what about a tight end, traditional blocking tight end? Because Swaim is not a receiving threat at all.
I don't know if that's true.
He's not. I mean, he's absolutely not.
I did that cut up. He had some nice.
I mean, he had
some
some
nice
like
catches.
tight
He
end
catches the ball.
screens.
He catches
He's
the ball.
had
He-
some like. I mean,
think he dropped like 2 passes last year out of like 50 targets.
But do you think O'Shaughnessy gets those snaps though?
Yes.
They'll split it. I think O'Shaughnessy plays enough.
O'Shaughnessy's solid, man.
But
He
you're looking
earned
at
his
a
role on the
quarterback
team.
who traditionally had a premier tight end working with him, and and not only are you going to like take away a premier tight end, you're going to give him like a maybe bottom.
Below average.
Yeah, well, terrible.
Josh Oliver wise though, in slot he was second among all draft eligible tight ends in slot receptions, and he was number 1 in slot yards.
Dude, you saw Oliver's
357.
We sat here and watched Oliver.
Yeah.
The dude catches everything thrown to him. His hands are amazing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
true.
mean, he hasn't had much time at the position, but that guy is a work in progress that has the potential to be like, talk about upside potential. I mean, everybody talks about that. I mean, that guy has the potential to be like a legit, like top 10 receiving tight end in the league easily. And he
He's
could
athletic.
be learned to
He's got
block.
the
He's a big
athletic
dude, man.
profile.
He's never been
I
taught to
just
block.
don't know how he'll translate to the NFL. And you got to remember he was playing in like the.
Dude, he's bigger than everybody's going to be
And I
guarding
thought
him.
That's the tight end position. So many randoms have become Jason Kelsey. Where did
Yes.
he come from?
Jason Kelsey.
Dude,
That's
he's
some guy you made
bigger.
up on
He's
Madden.
bigger and has
Jason
better
Kelsey?
hands than everybody
Oh,
guarding him.
Jason Kelsey.
Or I'm talking Tyler Kelsey. The what is his name?
Travis
Kelsey.
Kelsey?
Whatever his name is.
Travis
So-
Kelsey.
So many Kelseys out there,
Jason
sorry.
Witten.
It's
No, there
another-
is a Jason Kelsey.
No, from this
The
point on,
lineman.
it's
Yeah,
T.
it's his
It's T.
brother.
Kels. I like that. T. Kels. We don't need a first name. But point being is like, dude, this guy catches everything within his wheelhouse, and his wheelhouse is like 8 feet because his wingspan is huge. His hands are like the best I've ever seen.
For a tight end, he's got really strong hands.
He's
The
got
dude-
strong
the dude
hands.
Catches everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All he needs is some coaching, man. I mean, they could easily teach him better routes and teach him to block. I think he's going to be way better than everybody thought.
I don't think he's a blocker though.
I think he
Like,
can
I
be taught to
think
block.
I
He's a
think-
big dude,
okay,
man. He's not
You know
small.
who I think he is? I think he's Ernest Wilford. That's what
All
I
right.
think he is.
One
Fair
thing
enough.
that people have not talked about is that Filippo coached at San Jose State.
Really?
he has some connections there. 2010, he was the quarterback's coach. In 2011, he was the OC and QB coach.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know who else has a
It's all
tie?
starting to come together.
Yeah.
You know who else has a tie to a player? is a linebacker that we signed, undrafted free agent out of Boston College, Connor Strachan. He played at Boston College, and you remember who Boston College's coach is?
Yeah, of course. It was
You can't talk in the microphone there. Big
Tom
deal.
Coughlin.
Yeah.
Is
Know
that what you
who
mean?
taught this? You know who coached this year?
This year was I don't even know. Oh, it's
Ben McAdoo.
Boston College is still playing football.
Ben McAdoo was their coach. Ben McAdoo was the OC
Yeah.
for Tom Coughlin.
They had like jerseys and everything.
He was
Huh?
the coach for Tom Coughlin.
Wow.
Interesting.
So Ben McAdoo, I'm sure, called and was like, "Yo, this dog can play."
How
You
many?
know he made a call to him.
For the what's his name from Florida that coaches there now? Boston College.
He's not there anymore. Adazio.
How many
He's not there
points
anymore?
did?
No, it was McAdoo.
How many points did Boston College beat Florida State by?
A lot. I didn't enough to that I didn't see the game.
So we should be like
God
good
knows.
about that then, all right?
I have no
Florida
idea.
State lost to Boston
I
College.
believe so.
I think they lost to pretty much
Can
everybody.
you imagine, imagine this?
Almost as bad as
Imagine,
Kentucky.
imagine lining up against a team that's wearing the exact same uniforms as yours, but flipped, and with
and Adidas or the Under Armour. Oh,
and there's actual like college like
no names on the back.
you have to actually
Our
have like
jerseys are pretty
grades to
bad
get
too.
in.
God. Yeah, I did not
It was-
watch. a
I
second of that
digress.
game.
I think we are digressing.
Yeah. But anyways, no. What we're talking about, Oliver. Yeah, I think you're right, Joe. I think he could step in and be.
I think of all the people we drafted, like he could be the biggest upside out of anybody.
Him or the Temple guy. I know a lot of people are excited about him.
Which was,
the running back Armstead.
yeah.
Armstead.
I agree. I forgot
Yeah,
about that guy.
I mean, the good thing about running backs is that you never know.
You never know.
Legit. I mean, hey, you could draft them in the top 5.
I feel like that's the
and they
same
could
as
be from
tight end.
LSU, and they could be the number 1 player in the
And
country.
that guy's coming in with an attitude. Like all his
Yeah,
all his
like-
clips are
He
like,
runs hard.
dude, I run angry. He's like, I'm ready to be here. He's like, I mean, you got a guy coming from a school like that has that kind of chip on his shoulder. You know, I'm all about that. I mean, it's almost better than a backstory.
All right, so this next question on Twitter is from. I'm trying to stall because I do not have it up. Okay, this next question is from Patrick Jackson, our boy P Jack.
P-Jack.
And I wonder how my dog's doing with Manchester City winning another Premier League title over there.
I'm sure he's very upset about that because all it did is buy all the players like always. And sorry, P-Jack. I mean, he's got to root for the underdog. I can't remember which team he says. Newcastle, maybe?
I
think it was Newcastle. I think it was Newcastle.
Someone like Nottingham Forest or
It's a good team. Don't disrespect them. That's my
No, but I think it was
my
like
go-to in FIFA.
I think it was like a legendary history-wise team that hasn't been good in like a lot of years. It might have been Newcastle. Patrick, sorry if I'm wrong, but you can correct me. Obviously,
Arsenal.
glad you recovered from your
bees.
No, it wasn't bees. It was what turns into butterflies?
Caterpillar.
Caterpillar. It was poisonous caterpillars. But go ahead with the question
All right,
because this is my favorite guy. Sorry, Patrick. Go for it.
He is. All right. He says he's
Caterpillars, huh?
It's a long story.
Sounds awful.
He says suffering from indigestion last night after too much fish and chips got me thinking. What Jaguar performance has caused you the most belly ache over the years?
I'm not going to go deep back.
There's a million.
I mean, there's a ton. I'm going to go with the KC performance this year because that was like the beginning of the end.
Next week was pretty bad too.
Yeah.
Dallas was pretty rough.
Yeah. I mean, KC kind of set the tone for the rest of the season. So I'm going to keep
Did
it
you say
like,
Dallas.
yeah.
You little troll.
Does
Or
the
Philly
fourth
even.
quarter of the AFC Championship game count at all? Because that still hurts me.
Yeah.
Okay.
But could you really be mad you were in the AFC Championship game?
No.
I mean,
We kind of blew that.
I think we blew it. That's what
We
that's what
did,
makes me
but-
mad.
Miles Jack not being down. There's
but
a
I
lot
was
of
still
things.
I didn't throw up after that game.
All right, let me just tell you a little about this Dallas game that the Jags played last year.
Dallas was bad. I forgot about
All
that.
right.
Beasley tore us apart.
Dude, Cole Beasley.
I didn't want to hear it.
All right, Cole Beasley.
Okay, I'm going to take a step back. Dallas was definitely the worst game because that guy didn't do anything beforehand.
Oh my
Has never done anything
gosh.
after, and he looked like a freaking Pro Bowl
Listen to
wide
these
receiver.
stats, all right?
No, it's Tyler Patton
Okay,
on him. the
these
entire game.
these are just
Yeah.
rushing stats. Ezekiel Elliott, 24 carries, 106 yards. Dak Prescott, 11 carries, 82 yards. Receiving yards, Cole Beasley, 9 receptions, 101 yards, and 2
Never will do it
touchdowns.
again.
That boy got himself a contract with, was it the Titans? Or no, it was Humphreys. Cole Beasley went to
He went to Buffalo.
Buffalo. He got himself a contract in Buffalo solely off of his game against Jaguars. I am convinced that's what happened.
It was embarrassing, but it was because of the KC game before that, they realized where they were at.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. We were actually in it at one point in KC.
Yeah, first quarter.
Yeah,
Second
no,
quarter, maybe.
It was close. It was. I think we got the ball on a turnover, then Bortles fumbled late in the second, and then from there it was 2 straight touchdowns. Yeah, it was bad. God,
So we're going with that last year. We're
that
going
this season in general. Oof.
Yeah, I mean, so much expectations. I mean, the year before, Miles Jack wasn't down, was hard to deal with, but there were no expectations for that season in my mind. I mean, it was like all that was gravy.
That was our moment, though. Like we could.
It was our moment. I agree,
That was our window.
but that was like all gravy. Like last year, there were expectations, and they were all crushed in those 2 games. So. Thanks, Patrick, for bringing all that back up.
What about every single Titans game the past 3 years?
Oh my
Oh,
God, I
dude.
haven't watched the last 2. Most of them.
What was the game?
Oh,
what was the
God.
score of
That
the
actually-
6-9 of the home game this
Yeah,
year?
the first game of the season,
What
the
ma-
first game
what-
against them.
What made it worse was that it was like 170
Yeah.
freaking degrees in the stadium.
Yeah.
You were at that game?
I was sat next to you.
Sat next to me at the game. I have never been so miserable in my life
It's pretty
with
hot.
the heat.
Pedialyte, thank God for
We were
that.
no lie, we were drinking Pedialyte
Gatorade mixers. It was awesome.
and Gatorade. That's it. Not anything
mixers,
else.
just Those together.
It's funny because they don't sell Pedialyte in the stadium.
No, we brought it in. Like it was, and we knew it was going to be so hot. The Patriots game was another game that was just so hot. But
Houston was hot.
I
too.
have to say I'm going to recant everything because Mike just nailed it. Every game against the Titans
Yeah.
ever.
I didn't see much of it last year, but I saw pieces of Derrick Henry going off, and
Which is, again, the only game he's ever had like that since high school.
yeah.
So, and I've said over and over again, I will never pick the Jaguars to beat the Titans until they do because they can't do it.
There's some bad ones.
They're
out there.
our kryptonite. So, yeah,
I hate talking about the
There's
Titans.
some old.
any Titans game.
There's a lot old Colts games where we blew the division.
Yeah, but
Gerard.
you couldn't get mad at that because the Colts were good at that point.
Still though, we were
Titans
in it.
aren't good.
When we
Titans
had
are like
Gerard-
Titans
Titans
are
are like
trash.
slightly above average, and they still beat us every time. Yeah, Titans games. Every Titan game.
Well, speaking of the Titans, I guess this kind of is the segue. This is questions from Brad Harvin, and he says, and he's at the rundown _BH. And he says, any interest in Jonathan Cyprien returning? He says 4 straight years of at least 100 tackles. He says, if not, what free agent safety is affordable and enticing?
I'll let Mike take this one because we're arguing over who is going to go with this, but go for it, man.
No, thank you. I
No.
don't know if he could pay us to play, and I would take it. No, never again.
I mean, 100 tackles. Like, how many of those were him like chasing somebody down and
Yeah.
tackling them like 15
30
yards down the
yards,
field?
While,
I mean,
while trying to cover the guy.
I mean,
Yeah.
Sip hits okay. Like, okay, yeah, he has some like hits where you're like, man, he's nailing somebody. But dude, that guy in coverage is the worst ever, and that's our weak
I
point.
bring back Barry Church first.
Yeah.
Before I brought him back.
Yeah, I would see if like I don't know who
Anybody.
like
I'd play you two.
Yeah, find anybody to play besides him. No way.
You know what makes me disgusted is that we took him 2 spots before Zach Ertz got drafted.
Of course we did.
So yeah, it makes
Because tight ends
me,
are the crapshoot. Okay, so here are the safeties that are best available: Eric Berry, Trey Boston, Morgan Burnett, Jonathan Cyprien,
Burnett got signed, I believe.
Glover Quinn.
I think Quinn retired.
I don't think we're picking up a safety unless somebody gets hurt.
Like a cut. And
Is
preseason.
Eric Berry the only shot at us signing somebody?
Yeah, and that's probably too much money.
And
I'd
the
take
only-
him in a heartbeat, but
Only reason they bring him in is because they want a veteran presence, like trying to.
Can you
Like
see
guy
Eric
things.
Berry taking a 1-year deal?
Absolutely, if he doesn't get picked up by somebody else. I wanted them to take Eric Berry like 2-3 years ago when we had the option to.
Do you
when he-
think
when he-
Eric Berry takes a 1-year, $10 million deal?
I can see it. Why not?
the Tyrann Matthew
Yeah.
route. Yeah,
Is that
Absolutely.
Is that our best bet?
yeah.
If I would give that to him in a second.
Oh man.
Dude, these young guys need somebody like that for another year.
Harrison playing together, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, they need somebody like that, and it'd be well worth it to get these guys trained up and ready for 3, 4, 5, 10 years from now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really hesitant to pass the baton over to Jared Wilson. I mean, I want to like him,
Who wouldn't be?
but he's never done anything that has made me think he can do it.
The only saving grace is that our DBs are so good that they're going to cover for him. I mean,
We've talked about this in the past.
imagine one of them getting hurt though. If either of our DBs go down, I mean,
if you're Tom Brady, if you're Andrew Luck, if you're one of these premier quarterbacks and you're lining up under center and you're looking at our defense and you see Jalen Ramsey, you see AJ Boye, you see Ronnie Harrison in the box, and then you see Jared Wilson in the middle of the field.
You think he's going to be
buy
playing
him
the single
some-
high safety?
We play a cover 1, cover 3 hybrid most of the time.
I can't imagine them playing
most of the
that much
time.
with him.
I think we do. That's
Oh,
what we
God,
play.
I hope not.
That's what we have
That's
played.
what we have to
Oh,
play because
God.
Ramsey and Boye are just like man coverage beasts. And you see Jared Wilson in the middle of the field, and you're thinking, really, Jared Wilson? Like, and I want him to be good, but like that's where I'm going if I'm that quarterback.
Of course you are. And that's where we've gotten beaten for the past 5 years is up the seam. I mean, that's been our weak point for the longest time, and we get destroyed there. But with that being said, we do have a different defensive mind in-house who has his specialty is packages, mixing up packages. If you can't think that that guy's going to come in and not try to cover for that and find a way to do it, then why is he here?
I do hope they get more creative this year.
Then they absolutely will. That's the only reason he's there.
So.
And see, this is where I disagree with you guys. Because in 2017, the year we made our run, we were the most uncreative team out
Of course,
there.
but you had when you can out talent.
have to
somebody
be,
like
exactly.
That, it's like the Seahawks.
I mean,
they just out talented you.
Yeah, dude, we had like the most turnovers that a football team's ever had their entire life on defense.
But that's when we.
But
we
you can't
did the
rely
best.
on that.
Look at the schedule of quarterbacks we played. There's a lot of factors that led into that.
And we also relied on that last year and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, because our pass rush couldn't get there, and our
Because it's not
linebackers couldn't cover.
Because people figured that stuff out, man.
Was it that, or did
Yes.
they just drop off and
No,
play?
they didn't drop off.
Scenarios were different. They ran more. They weren't in long passing situations like the years.
They were
prior.
down more as well.
Yeah.
Field position wasn't as good.
I'm a fan of lining up in cover 1 and
I love it.
and
Trust
letting
me.
your
You know I
dogs
love cover
play.
3 and all that. But
Yeah.
It's ideal, but it
can't do
doesn't
every
work all the
play.
time. Exactly.
I love. I mean, I know he's the greatest coach of all time, but I love the Bill Belichick. Every week it's different. You don't know what you're gonna get, but it's a lot easier said than done.
Because he does it personnel-wise. He does it
Yeah,
what
I mean,
I've got,
the
what they've got,
I would
and he
love to
matches
see
it up.
I do think we have the players that could do like a 3-4-4-3 hybrid.
We
I
do.
would love to see that.
And I think I think we're going to see some different stuff this year.
That'd be interesting because I don't watch a lot of other teams, but I don't ever remember seeing that like work. Like I don't ever remember seeing a team that flips between 3-4 and 4-3.
Does
Baltimore
Pittsburgh
did it for a while.
Does Pittsburgh not?
They used to. They've always been a pretty much.
Yeah,
But nowadays it
okay.
really doesn't matter. You're a coach. Come on. It's really
Yeah,
the
I don't
splits are
know.
that.
If you have the personnel for it, which we do, we have the speed, we have the
I mean, you don't
players.
see
Alignments and splits are different. I know. I know.
Yeah, no, it's not really alignment and splits. It's that like from week to week, you want them to be consistent. So it's like it's more like if you have a guy that can play in a 3-4, he can play in a 4-3. Not so much
I
you
think
can
we
flip
have those
between.
players, though.
No, I know, but like you commit to one or the other. Like
Yeah.
not so much you flip back and forth. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think bottom line, if we don't have the injuries like we did last year, we're fine all across the board. If
That's
we
true.
do, if we do have
a good
significant
point.
injuries or key guys go down, they're going to have to mix things up, which they haven't been able to do in the past.
I have an idea. Let's just have a really hard training camp where your risk of injury goes.
Wear them the hell out.
Just wear them out so that they get hurt.
I
and
agree.
That they get just burnt out on football. They
just
have
hate life.
They have mental breakdowns.
Like they don't even know how to
That's a
handle
great
like
idea.
normal
Let's-
everyday
let's
stuff
do that.
anymore.
All right, this is our last question, and this is from Mike Wilbraham, and he's at Abe for Lincoln, and he says, "Which do you see more likely, 1,000 yards receiving from D.D. Westbrook or 1,000 yards rushing from Leonard Fournette?"
I'll take this question first because I'm the biggest D.D. Westbrook fan on the planet, and I'm probably the biggest critic of Leonard Fournette. I think we see 1,000 yards out of both of them next year.
Whoa.
D.D. stepped up the second half of last season. Like, if it wasn't for Bortles completely just falling off the deep end, he probably would have gotten to 1,000 yards. He's a man. Like, dude, he's gotten there. He probably would have been like a second or third round pick if it wasn't for the other issues. He's had a couple years in the league. With Foles, if D.D. doesn't go for 1,000 and 7 or 8 touches, then something's seriously wrong. Fournette is a 1,000-yard rusher. He's a first-round draft pick. He's an elite running back. If his head is anywhere is where it's supposed to be, our line's healthy. There's no way he doesn't go for 1,000 yards next year. So I think both.
Man, I like that answer. Dang it. I like that answer. But that wasn't the question. It was which was more likely.
D.D.
I think it's Leonard Fournette because I think our offensive line comes back this year strong. I think that Fournette's a really good runner. We just drafted probably the best run blocking lineman in the draft. And I think that just the there's no way he doesn't get it. I mean, unless he gets suspended or hurt.
How many more targets is DD going to get this year to get to 1,000
I think
yards?
He's going to be the number one.
What do you have last year?
96 targets.
He's going to get
how many yards?
717.
Which almost all of those were in the second half of the season because he didn't get thrown to in the
middle.
Yeah.
And
Drag routes.
Or no, dude, up the line
routes.
too, man. Like he busted him out the line too. I mean, dude, we've got a quarterback now though that likes to throw the ball, doesn't like to hand off to a running back. He likes to throw out of the backfield, but we're not talking about out of the backfield yards. We're talking about rushing yards, right?
Yeah.
So you think that
I do.
Nick's going to come in and completely change his style altogether and not throw the ball anymore?
Fournette's easily a 1,000-yard rusher if he's healthy.
I think he is either way. My point being, but I think DD.
I mean, I
how about we rephrase the question? Who gets more yards next year, DD Westbrook or Fournette?
I think it's
running
Fournette.
versus passing.
Fournette for sure.
Yeah, I think it's Fournette because
Straight running.
Because DD's got to split that with Lee. He's got to split
Lee, who
it
might
with
not be healthy. Chark, who might not be able to catch a ball.
Guys, Cole,
who couldn't catch a ball last year.
Fournette's not splitting carries unless he has to.
Dude, but you just name receivers that DD's the only one that is a legitimate,
I think Marquise Lee
consistent.
might be able to come back and give you something.
He might be able to.
I think he will.
Might.
What do you expect out of?
But that's also at the same time, DD's getting that much more attention at the same time.
Well, that's true too. That's a good point.
What are you expecting out of Marquise Lee this year? Like honestly,
if I get 600 yards and 3 touchdowns, I'm happy.
I didn't expect much when he was healthy, so this season.
That's the thing. I mean,
but he had a good year before he got hurt.
He did, but it took like 6 years for him to get to that point because all the injury.
900 yards?
No, I mean,
not even that, dude.
805.
Yeah.
I mean, but a third down threat. I mean, he had a lot of receptions.
He was the go-to
I think
guy.
Keelan Cole had a couple more yards, but
dude, Keelan Cole.
Lee had more receptions.
I can't believe you were throwing Keelan Cole in the conversation.
Marquise Lee's most career yards is 851, 2016.
And how many touchdowns?
It was 3 touchdowns.
Wow.
He has 8 touchdowns in his career.
Marquise Lee?
Yeah.
831 and 3 touchdowns. That's a third receiver on any other team in the NFL.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, are we going to talk about Bortles here or no? I mean,
a lot of that is Bortles.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean,
101
I don't know.
targets, 63 catches. A lot of that is on Bortles, but
Hey, what about his banner years, man?
The most he's ever had in years.
should have kept Allen Robinson.
Nah, shouldn't have.
He didn't like Bortles.
He hated it here.
Yeah, well, Bortles is gone.
Well, we didn't know that. Bortles looked like the real deal last year. Let's not talk about Bortles anymore.
You brought it up.
We all love Bortles, but he's gone.
But you brought it up.
We got Minshew now. Well, so anything else you guys want to add?
I mean, at this point, that's a lot for offseason. I mean, that's pretty exciting as far as everything goes. I mean, I think overall, I just want to say, I mean, as a Jaguar fan, I'm very optimistic.
Yeah, I mean,
too. I think they've done very well, as good as they could in free agency. You can't knock them for the decisions they made. They addressed what we needed. They did very well in the draft. I mean, it's just going to come down to injuries, honestly, at this point. I really think that's what it boils down to.
I'm excited for Foles. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can't be.
$88 million. He better be really good.
Yeah, but I mean, for a starting quarterback,
spiral. Honestly.
Yeah. Hey, a pass that goes where it's supposed to, that's easy to catch.
It's been a while.
It's been what?
5 years
since Brunell.
Yeah. Nah, Garrard was pretty accurate at his times.
That 1 year.
Yeah.
I mean, all the national pundits are like hyping us, like this is the team to watch.
Chris Sims loves us.
I mean, everyone loves us.
Dude, we should be the comeback kids this year.
Because our defense is really good, and we added Foles. I mean, we should. If we're not in the playoffs next year, I'm gonna be upset. I mean, if we don't
agree.
in the playoffs next year, I'm gonna be.
But I think it's a wild card. It's not a win in the division.
Yeah, I'm okay with that because I think the AFC South will be pretty.
I didn't
good.
say I wasn't okay with it. I'm just saying I don't think we're winning the division.
I think the AFC South will be pretty good.
I agree.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So
definitely one of the top 3 divisions. I think
for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So I mean, I think we get there. I'm excited to see what happens. But if you don't know, we're gonna do the same thing we did last year, where when the summer weeks come, we take a position and we just dissect each position for this podcast.
Which is gonna be awesome.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I mean, it's honestly my favorite time because I can flex on my like.
And by awesome, I mean like super boring for everybody else.
No. I mean, if you're into like the X's and O's of football, then it's good football. I mean, it's good talk. It's good talk because we can really get into it with that position groups.
I'll try to come up with some other stuff to talk about for.
We'll try to
all
throw
y'all
Joey
people.
some soccer questions. And
Something because I'm like I have my jersey on tonight. I'm super disappointed there was not a single men's national team question. I can't even talk about the like women's national team and the dude that plays for them. Not
Does
like
the U.S. make the World Cup next time? I don't know. This is all.
Yeah, they will for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Not that I'm against them, but
It's the first time in like 20 years I had. So
Okay.
it's the law of averages.
All right. How about since we're on it, who wins the NBA Finals? Any thoughts?
Ooh.
Golden State, obviously.
Yeah.
Who
Should
wins
go
the
to.
Eastern Conference Finals? Is that better?
Who's winning the
Right
game
now, the Bucks and the Raptors are playing. I think the Bucks were winning by 5 last
See
time
what
we
the
checked.
score
I think the Bucks take
I
it.
think the Raptors came back. Let's see. I think I just heard a buzzer.
What about the
108,
PGA?
100.
Let's go golf. PGA Championship
That's
tomorrow.
true.
Oh, God.
And if you
Starts
don't,
tomorrow.
if you're new,
If you're new, Jason knows nothing
I have
about
gotten
golf.
the last 2 winners of the majors.
You have.
correct.
So I'm going to go ahead and assume you're picking Tiger Woods for the PGA
Okay,
Tour
give
Championship.
me a second here, okay? As the golf expert on the podcast, because I called the Players Championship correct, didn't I?
You
and
did.
I called the Masters Championship correct.
Actually, he did.
I did.
Which is
So
absolutely
I'm
insane.
I'm gonna call myself the golf expert.
You at this point you can.
And here's where I'm gonna go. What tournament is it coming up?
PGA Tour Championship.
PGA Tour. Where's that at?
It's in New York at Black
They play
Hills,
golf in
I
New
think.
York.
Yeah, it's like the
Where's-
toughest course ever.
Wow.
It's got like grass like that grows up to your knees outside.
So
of
here's
the
here's
green,
who's
the
gonna
fairways,
win.
Yeah.
Here's who's gonna win. And I hate to pick this, and people think I'm uneducated because I am, but I have this gut feeling it's gonna be Tiger Woods.
He would be the first back-to-back major championship winner that had not played a tournament in between since 2006,
Who was?
which was him.
Tiger Woods.
So, not a
So-
bad call, but dude, his back is gimpy, man. It's like it's getting there, but not a bad call. He's like odds-wise in Vegas, I think he's number 5. So
And that's why he's gonna win.
there you
Who was the leader?
go. DJ Johnson.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Brooks Koepka.
That's who I picked as well. So you can't go
Oh.
wrong with Bro Koepka.
He picked him because he's a Florida State
I'm surprised you knew that.
fanboy.
I'm not a
And
Florida
you
State
picked him because
fanboy.
he watches golf.
I do. So
You know
I'm.
what that
I'm
means.
If I was a real
Miss
Florida State
Tiger Woods.
fanboy,
Miss
I'd
Tiger Woods is winning. Exactly.
That's exactly what that means.
So anyway, go Koepka.
Yeah, well, that's going to be it for our podcast. I appreciate you guys listening. Remember, you can find us on Twitter at Another Jags Pod, Facebook, Instagram, Another Jags Podcast. We're on YouTube because people love YouTube. I mean, our downloads have skyrocketed since we've gone on YouTube.
Apparently,
Live
YouTube's
videos.
like a big thing.
Who would have thought?
I know. I mean,
So make sure you check us on YouTube. You can rewatch our podcast. We're sitting here with our non-Miles Jack candle. You can watch us stare at that candle. But thank you so much for your questions, for your comments. We look forward to talking about each position group as the summer goes on because we record every week. And
I don't want to break your flow, but if a listener knows where to purchase a Miles Jack candle, like other than knowing Miles Jack,
I think it's like DM him, I think.
maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Isn't that what it is? He's like,
I think he meets you at the
he
stadium.
like meets
I've
you
heard
at the
that.
stadium.
All right, well, I'll DM
Yeah.
them. I want to buy a Miles Jack candle because I think that's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And I want to
Maybe Telvin should make candles.
Oof.
That's too soon, bro. That dude's got to figure his life out.
Sorry.
He's made enough money in his lifetime. I think he's doing
All right,
right.
so I'm going to tease a little something. This is for our deep track listeners. Because if you're still here,
It's like the B-sides.
you're a deep track listener. I want to tease you guys with something. We may or may not have been in contacts.
Oh, you're going to throw this out there?
Yeah.
Oh, you're jinxing the
I think
heck
it's
out of it.
Super
Yeah.
jinx.
Yeah, so we may
Definitely not happening now.
or may not have been in contacts with some people that work for the Jags. And we may or may not have been granted special access to the team for training camp.
All true.
All I'm going to say is
Jason's going stalker mode.
we
on
appreciate you fans. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be able to do that.
That's very true.
But things are working. So thank you guys. We shout out to our Big Cat Country listeners that are listening to us through Big Cat Country. And as always, go Jags.
Yeah, go Jags.